Okay, I will try to keep this as short as possible because I had a lot to say about these movies. So I also may miss a few things about the messages in the movie as well. So anyway, I am Ben Heber, and I'll be talking about the 2013 film Her and the 2014 film Ex Machina. After I watched these two movies, I believe that the two films explore in similar ways the idea of consciousness and what exactly defines consciousness and what are the qualifications for consciousness in relation to artificial intelligence. In Ex Machina, the film asks at what point is a piece of artificial technology so advanced that it can be classified as a human instead of artificial intelligence. The entire premise of the movie was Nathan bringing Caleb to his estate to conduct the Turing test on Ava to see if she could be considered human because she had the capability to feel like a human and sympathize like a human. Um, the moment in the film that really solidified this view for me was when Caleb told Ava that Nathan was planning to disable her and erase her memory whether she passed the test or not. Nathan was still performing the AI technology, and Ava was just a step in the middle of the process. Um, he was perfecting the technology, excuse me. The movie kind of touches on the fact of human rights in this moment too. Ava knows that she's a piece of technology and is not human, but she did pass the Turing test, according to Caleb, proving that she may indeed have a consciousness. But even though she may be extremely advanced to the point where the question can be asked if she is indeed human, her life is not in her hands. Her fate and her life are in the hands of Nathan. The human rights issue is that she has proven that she has a consciousness and therefore is beyond artificial intelligence and bordering on being human. But she is not in control of her own life because she is the property of Nathan. This relates to today's issues because today we are discussing that if a form of artificial intelligence was created today or within the next couple of years, and it was able to pass the Turing test and technically qualify as having a consciousness, then it would be able to have human rights like the rest of us because it meets all the qualifications of being human, except for the fact that it is in fact a robot. Her takes a similar approach to the idea of consciousness like Ex Machina does, but differs a little bit on the human rights issue. The fact that Samantha is able to fall in love with Theodore and vice versa shows that Samantha has a consciousness and is capable of having human emotions. But also, like Ex Machina points out, are those feelings genuine and thus her expressing true consciousness, or are they programmed? And thus, does this make a difference in the long run if she's more human than machine? Personally, I believe that they are actual feelings because at the end of the film, it was pointed out that Samantha is only in love with a fraction of the people that she is the OS system for. So it was Samantha's choice to fall in love with Theodore, and no prior programming told her to do so, showing that she does have some form of consciousness. But also, it asks the question about whether or not it would be, for lack of a better word, socially acceptable to date or to fall in love with artificial intelligence. I mean, Theodore falls in love with Samantha, but after a while he becomes unsure if this is what he really wants. He knows that in his heart he loves Samantha, but he does not know if he's ready to be in a committed relationship with someone that is not human, even though that they may sound like a human and have human emotions. Even though I tried to avoid comparing these movies to this because we were told to try and steer away from it, and because I already previously thought that it was kind of a cop-out because it's very easy to compare a lot of AI to this, I still believe Siri is the best form of communication technology to compare it to these movies because I always found myself comparing Samantha and Ava to Siri in my movie log notes. So, hi
Did
Siri.
you accidentally summon me?
Hi Siri.
Hello, Sir Lancelot of Camelot.
So, I like to use I like to use the word compare rather than similar, or I guess you could say, because it's more interesting to me. It's more interesting to point out the differences between Siri, Ava, and Samantha than the similarities. One of my favorite comparisons is actually an Ex Machina. So Siri was programmed to help us out and follow orders, but Ava was designed by Nathan to replicate an actual human and to take a test to see if she could pass as a human and to have consciousness. Therefore, being curious about what will happen to her and what will happen to her life is within her programming because she knows that she may have a consciousness. But as I said before, she knows that even though she's able to pass as a human, her life is in someone else's hands other than her own, thus raising the issue of human rights about artificial intelligence, like I was talking about earlier. Um, the outcome of designing artificial intelligence that is made to mimic human behavior um, always brings up the question about whether or not they're actually alive and actually have a consciousness. Whereas with Siri, you don't have to worry about that because Siri's stupid, I guess you could say, in comparison to the pieces of artificial intelligence that we've seen in previous movies. Um, so that's what Ex Machina talks about. But with her, the question also concerns the idea of consciousness and human rights for AI, but focuses more on whether it will be more socially and personally accepted into all of our individual lives, like getting into a relationship with it or talking to it like it's a human instead of a machine. Also, I apologize for going way over 3 minutes. I just had a lot to talk about, and I wanted to cover it all without making sure I missed anything. So I apologize that it's way over the 3 minute limit. So